Hello, class. Hello, professor. Today, we are Team Zero Bug, and we are going to present our final presentation of the project Chords. This is our virtual collaboration tool. Here is our agenda. And first, Panya will give you a recap for the project description and workflow diagram, and Vienna will present the MVP and MVP architecture. Pretty will give you a walkthrough for our user story and acceptance criteria and tests. And then I will present the product backlog, sprint, and burn down charts. Later on, we have the project demo to present by Gotham. And for the last part, Vinay will give the introduction of the retrospective and future scope. So next, I will pass to Pratnya.
Thank you, Bebe. So about our project, Chords is a virtual collaboration tool which is used to which we can use to collaborate, which professionals can use collaborate virtually, where people are working remotely and in different geographical areas. So here, the Chords will help the help the team members to develop projects efficiently and economically. Next slide, please. So our project requirement, we have listed down six project requirements. So these are basic and important ones. So first one is registration or login. And the next is group chat. The third one is live chat. Fourth is media sharing. So here in media sharing, the user will be sharing documents, files, etc. The fifth one is video conferencing. And the sixth is search. In search, the user will be searching the groups or the channels which he or she has created. Next slide, please. So this is our workflow diagram. Chords has once the user logs in into Chords, the user authentication is done by Firebase. The front end for the front end we have used React.js, where search bar is taken care of, and then in the backend, for the backend we are using Node.js and MongoDB for sharing the files, media, and chat history. Storing the chat history. Next, I will pass to Vishwa.
Thank you, Pradnya. As part of our MVP, we are doing a subset of the whole project. So our MVP would constitute a login registration page, and then after login, it would go to the dashboard page. Within the dashboard page, there are two sections where one section is for the groups and one section is for the feeds. And then user will be able to share the group URL to other users so that they could join through the user URL. And then so after logging into the application, user can chat with the other person seamlessly with other users. Next slide. Architecture. As part of our architecture, there are three units. The client to server connections are handled by the React.js. The DB is the Firebase DB, which is a document-based NoSQL database. So when user tries to log in, request is sent to the server. So the server checks with the DB whether the user already exists, or if the user doesn't exist, the new user is added to the database, and then the server sends back a response stating that a new user has been added or the user has been logged in. After logging in, user would be navigated to the dashboard screen. In the dashboard screen, user can create a new group. So when user sends a request, when user clicks the new channel button, a request will be created to the server in order to create a new group, and then it will be checked with the database, and the new group would be added into the database, and the server would again send a response to the client that a new group has been created. So after creating the group, user can add multiple users. The multiple users can chat with one another seamlessly. So whenever a chat request has been sent, request will be sent to the server, and the server updates the chat within the database in the groups table with the time frame. So based on the time frame, the records will be taken back from the database and will be again displayed in the dashboard. So that's our architecture. The next slide will be presented by Preeti.
Thank you, Vishwa. My name is Preeti. I will be talking about user stories, acceptance criteria, and test cases. Now, user stories are the stories where user mentions the requirements, how he or she wants to see the application, or how he or she wants to use the application. So, as a user, what user says is next. Now, as a user, he would like the Chords application in such a way that he should be able to log in or register into the application and collaborate with other users. As a user, he should be able to create a group in the collaboration tool, which is Chords, and he should be able to talk about specific topics with his subordinates or his friends or professionals. He should be able to send messages in the group naturally, and he should be able to save the chat. So what the save chat means is that he should be able to see the chat if he is logged out or if he left the chat at all. So these are the user stories which user would like to see. Next slide, please. An application is considered complete only when it is accepted. Now, what is accepted? Accepted means it matches certain acceptance criteria. So, acceptance criteria are listed as next. So, as a user, or as an application, these acceptance criteria should be matched to call that application is ready to be deployed. Now, in the acceptance criteria, we have covered login and registration, group chats, save the chat history, and creating groups. So when I register, the acceptance criteria says that the user should be able to log in using his email ID in the Google Libya authentication. Also, in the group chats, user should be able to access the multiple groups and he should be able to invite people in the group. He should be able to save the chat history whenever he is disconnected. Also, he should be able to create the groups and the user group IDs are displayed in the URL. So only if these features are met, then the application's acceptance criteria is met and it is ready to be deployed. Next slide, please. These are the test cases we have listed here. Only after these test cases are complete, we have certified the application as it is tested and every functionality works fine. Now, these functionalities have been tested. The login or registration is working well. Group user is able to create groups and user is able to send the messages in the groups. That has been verified using the various test cases, and the expected as well as actual results have been listed here. Next slide, please. The next test cases which are covered are whether the chat history has been saved or not, whether the user has been able to invite people into the group or not. So similarly, the test cases expected and actual result is listed here, and the status of those test cases has been listed here. So all the test cases are passed, and as a result, the application has been accepted. Next slide will be presented by Vivek. Thank you.
Thank you, Preeti. So product backlogs are never complete. We have been done with the MVP and we are doing all the tests for the MVP already. So for the listed items, these are our plan for the next semester. You can see we plan to implement live chat and the user logout function and also the file sharing and video conference. We have done the first spring for the first month. We have the literature review of technology research and we do the Google authentication service interface. And for the second sprint, we have the user registration done. We have create design group chat done. And we also have the login page creation. So for the third sprint, we got our first draft of tech paper work, and we test our register and login function, and we also work through the user authentication, and we have the website framework and the sidebar down. So you can see the burn down chart of the third sprint that we, for the beginning of the sprint, we didn't do much work, but later on for the final week of the third sprint, we start to catch up what we planned it. And the last sprint, we have tested the group chat, and we did the final draft of tech paper, and we have the persist and save chat history function work, and we can and our project can able to create a group. So we have, you can see from the burn down chart, we have made a little improvement here. We start to spend weekends to work on the project, and our actual working hour is very close to our planned working hour. Here are all the links related to our project, including installation menu, user menu, GitHub wiki, and the code. Next, I will pass to Gotham. He will give the project demo. Please share your screen.
Once again. Hello, good evening. I will be presenting a demo of our application. Before that, let me show you how to set up the application on your local PC. You first download the code from our GitHub, which you can find in the description. You download it to a specific separate folder. After downloading it, you open the command line and then you type npm. I'm not doing this because my application is already running on PC. So once you do that, you will get this app on a new tab. So now I will be logging in with my Google account. So yeah, here you can, although this is our application's backend database server. This is always running on the cloud. So here you can see this image. This is not a static image. This is actually being pulled from my Gmail to Firebase. And same goes with this name here. Here you can see different channels which I and my teammates have created by testing. And here you can see the different messages. This is the message input chat box. So I'll just show you. So you can find. Let me show you the authentication area in the Firebase.com. Here you can see all the people who have logged in to the Chords application using Gmail. You can, as of now, we have just implemented Google enabled login. We haven't enabled Gmail, other logins and general email and password because we haven't yet created the required front-end related work for that. So here you can see the different channels our application is using. You can see the name of the channel, Distributed Computing, CS Project 1. So all this information is being pulled from Firebase. And these are the messages which are present inside that channel. And these messages are from different users. Here you can see the message, timestamp, the username, and the image. So if I go into CS Project 1, and here you can see basic and the message is hello at 24th November 2020, 1:37. The timing is different because she's in China. And now I'll be creating a new channel so that we can show you how live chat is taking place. So this is a new channel I just created. So here you can see there are no messages. I'll show you the related channel on database. So yeah, so this is a channel we just created. So here you can see there are no messages because nothing has actually taken place here now. So here you can see some of my teammates messaging. Myself. Okay. I think I need to refresh it so that you can see new messages. Yeah. So here you can see the message of Preeti, her message, timestamp of different users. We have to implement, this is a search bar which we haven't implemented yet. So that's it. I'll now be passing it on to Vinay. Vinay?
Hello guys, I'm Vinay. I will talk about the retrospective of the current final deliverable. The goal of the retrospective is to improve things based on the learning outcomes, and we are always looking back to the retrospective to analyze what went wrong. So in the last retrospective, we identified that we need to allocate more time to plan workload and for each sprint and spending more time on designing and developing the application. So in the current sprint, what went well is all the members were present for all the scheduled meetings and the stand-ups, and the efficient split of the work helped us to complete the work in a time. We delivered all the tasks on time, and the team coordination played a significant role in this sprint. And we collaborated frequently for some technical issues. What needs improvement is we have to reduce the story point per sprints and increase the workload to work more efficiently. And the time estimate for the sprint was not accurate, so we have to improve that also. We did so many meetings in the current stream. This was the important deliverable, so it was mandatory to do so many meetings in the sprint, but we are planning to reduce the number of meetings in the next sprint. For the next steps is we are hosting the application in the cloud server. We are already hosting the database, but we have to host the whole application in cloud, so anyone from the link can access it, and we don't need to install it on our local system. So we are planning to spend some time to research the best cloud for hosting the application. And we also completed most of the work in time, but still the team feels we have to work on the time management, especially when we are delivering some important module. The future scope is we have to improve the user experience and functionality, and also we have to look back for the risk and security part. So end-to-end message encryption is on our primary goal for the future, because we have to provide the security to each user, and the data is more valuable and important. We are planning to do video meeting and getting the transcription in the text from the speech. We are also trying to integrate Google Drive, Google Doc, and Google Calendar in our application, as the G Suite most of the teams are using. We are also trying to integrate the project management tools in our application code. The file sharing is important feature for any team collaboration tool. So we will implement a Dropbox or OneDrive or Google Drive in the code. Next slide. Thank you. Have a happy and blessed Thanksgiving.